Securing data is useful. Securing
what data are you securing?
Any data that you would
What
want.
data are you securing?
Financial data, mortgage data.
But on your one,
data,
if I have one
my
Bitcoin,
birth certificate, my personal data, my verification of who I am. So I don't need Equifax to sell my data and lose my data and my data. I can have my data on a private key and say, this is me. It's immutable. It's every 10 minutes. It's verified. And that's who I am. Give me my money.
You don't need Bitcoin either.
Yes, you do, because it's the most secure. It's the only secure database that's ever been invented. That's the technology. You fail to understand that it's a new technology that is as profound as the printing press or the electric light bulb. You're comparing it to things that you shouldn't be comparing it to. It makes no sense. You're talking nonsense.
Yeah, this is
it's a brand new breakthrough in technology. Your kids are going to be wondering why their dad didn't see the value. They'll be like, Dad must have been on drugs because he never saw the value.
What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of CryptoZombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an excellent day today. Having a look, oh my goodness, the Bitcoin price has fallen 2.22% from its all-time high. That is it. Throw in the towel. It is done. It is finished for Bitcoin. No, guys, obviously there's going to be some volatility moving forward. Now, we had Bitcoin sitting right here at around the $19,000 level. We pumped all the way up to almost $24,000 for Bitcoin, and we are having a little bit of a sideways pattern movement accumulation. What is going on? Well, the Bitcoin bears are going to tell you right now that we are due for a massive correction. There is too much excitement in the markets. Bitcoin cannot sustain this kind of a pump. Well, in today's video, I'm actually going to tell you why Bitcoin could potentially be moving even higher a lot sooner than you think. Now, we know that Bitcoin is the type of asset that when it's down, it kicks you when you're down and it can dump even lower than you can expect. And on the flip side, we have seen that when it starts to rally, sometimes, and most of the time actually, it can pump even higher, faster, and harder than anyone can even anticipate. So in today's video, I'm going to show you why Bitcoin could be potentially looking for one more big move to the upside. I also want to talk about 3 reasons why this Bitcoin rally is just getting started and we have a lot more room to grow. We're going to talk about institutions hitting the highest amount of open interest ever for Bitcoin, and we're also going to talk about altcoins. How are altcoins going to do in this rally? Is alt season just around the corner? What should you be doing? Nothing financial advice, of course. If that sounds good to you, you know what to do. If you're not subscribed, definitely consider it. And without further ado, I think we should hop directly into these crazy and wild Bitcoin charts. So having a look right here, we did have this insane pump when we got above the $19,930 level. We did skyrocket up to almost 24K. We are putting in a bit of a red daily candle today. So is it time for Bitcoin to cool off? Do we need to come back down to some of these, back down to earth, or are we still just headed for that moonshot? Well, having a look right here, you do notice that there is this resistance right here that we did break out of this channel. We skyrocketed out of this parallel channel. Absolutely insane. So there is always that potential that we could come down here and retest the top of that, which would still be around a $21,000 Bitcoin, which is insane to think that now that's the lower possible short-term targets. But if you really want to look at the extremely short-term chart, we will get to that in a second, but you are noticing that we did in fact have a little bit of resistance here. Now, we were talking about the ascending broadening wedge, and you can see right here we have had all of these touches once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we have had a 7th touch. But you do notice that every time Bitcoin does continue to bounce essentially between these areas. So there is always that possibility that we do come down and we do retest the bottom of this, which, if we were to go straight down, that would still bring us to 20K, and I highly doubt that Bitcoin's going to dump directly down to those levels tomorrow. Keep in mind that it is the weekend, okay? We are going to have futures closing, but I do want to point out that that right now we are forming, well, right now it looks a bit like a bull pennant. Now, you could say it is a descending triangle. However, it is after a massive move. This is on the lower time frames. This would essentially be a bullish pattern. Now, even if we were to break out of this to the downside, I've actually drawn this potential flag where if we do break out of the triangle, we may still actually come down into the flag, you know, something like this, and maybe bounce around before having a breakout to the upside. So either way, I am looking for a bullish breakout. Now, here is the crazy part. If we do actually have the breakout from the triangle, and let's say we go to the very end, which, you know, Bitcoin usually breaks out a lot sooner, we are looking at about a $26,500 Bitcoin, which at that point, I would actually think that we would be doing some form of correction. But the crazy thing is, considering, having a look at this chart, that essentially any person that has ever bought Bitcoin in Bitcoin's history, assuming that they held, is in profit today. And the fact that we haven't seen a major immediate dump or crash, and we've seen a ton of volume come in, it's making it kind of hard for me to be bearish. Now, look, anything could happen tomorrow. We could wake up, have a massive dump, and I don't know, maybe we could change our tune. But right now, guys, in my opinion, the trend is your friend until the end. And, you know, like Lark Davis said, this is the third week that Bitcoin has been above its 2017 weekly high close. You can see what happened the last two times that this was the situation. We are just getting started. The first time we were in that zone, Bitcoin broke out with a 7,000+% increase. And the second time, when we were around the $1,000 level, we broke up to 1,728%. So where could Bitcoin be heading next? Well, logarithmically, having a look at this, this could be putting Bitcoin in the $350,000 level range, potentially just from today's prices. Now, first, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The obvious news is that the institutions are, in fact, accumulating. Joseph Young says that Bitcoin is rallying off of an institutional frenzy in the US and Europe. But what happens when Asia trails along? We know that China is not very crypto friendly, but we do have a lot of other countries in Asia, right? We have South Korea, for example. We've seen just what those guys can do pumping some of the altcoins, right? He says markets like South Korea heat up very rapidly when one big player makes a move. When the institutional craze kickstarts in Asia, a new bull trend will emerge. A new bull trend? You mean like another bull trend after this trend? Yes, it could just literally be getting started. Now, let me break down some massive numbers here. According to Skew, Bitcoin options volume has crossed the $1 billion mark for the first time ever in its history. The volume growth continues alongside a massive increase in Bitcoin options open interest. According to Skew, OI touched almost 6 billion threshold on December 16th, surging from around 600 million in early January. And we know that Grayscale is, you know, according to this article, literally sucking up all of the Bitcoin. Grayscale Premium is insane. They've captured 11.5 billion in just Bitcoin alone, and this is due to demand. It's not like they're just like, hey, let's buy some. No, this is actual demand from family offices, institutional investors, high net worth individuals. They wouldn't be buying it if there wasn't demand for it, right? And Willy Woo actually points out, he was referencing what Peter Schiff said. Peter Schiff, you know, first of all, Peter Schiff, just when are you going to admit? When are you going to admit, my friend, that Bitcoin is actually the best investment ever? Maybe he'll buy at 50K or 100K. I don't know. But he says CNBC viewers are now paying a 33% premium for the privilege of paying Grayscale Bitcoin Trust a 2% year fee to store their Bitcoin that could easily be stored by themselves for free. GBTC then creates a new share, which it sells in the market at a huge premium, using the proceeds to buy more Bitcoin, to which Willy Woo responds, wow, 33% Grayscale Bitcoin premium. That is outrageous demand for Bitcoin via retirement IRAs. If I was a Euro-Pacific shareholder, I'd be wondering why the company is not getting in on that obvious growth business, like Kodak revolutionized photos until one day it didn't run towards digital. Basically saying, Peter Schiff, you need to get with the times. Now, here is something interesting. While we clearly have an institutional FOMO happening right now, we still do not actually have the retail bubble, the retail boom that could arguably have had a lot to do with the 2017 bubble before the CME futures launched, right? According to analytics resource The Tie, tweet levels, okay, these are 3 reasons that they think that, there's still a huge more upside for Bitcoin, is that they're roughly around where they were in 2018 when Bitcoin was just under 20,000. So as far as social media activity goes, Bitcoin was trending the other day, but it still isn't hitting the volume of tweets that it was before. Number 2, they say Wikipedia shows no desire to learn about Bitcoin. Compared to 2019, there is no contest. Appetite for learning what Bitcoin is was an order of magnitude higher than today. Even the crisis surrounding the pandemic and its impact on markets in March, combined with Bitcoin's recovery to all-time highs, failed to catch the attention of the majority. And they also say that Bitcoin Google trends are lower, even compared to what they were when the Bitcoin halving was around, right? So basically they're saying that there's still a lot of people sleeping on Bitcoin. A lot of people I don't think it's officially gotten out yet to the public, right? We just broke all-time high. There's just these sort of mentions of it in the news, but it hasn't really gotten crazy yet, right? So there is still so much room, especially for retail growth for Bitcoin. Now, maybe Megan Thee Stallion, she's going to help out, right? She says, hotties, Bitcoin is a really smart investment and increases over time. Make sure you keep dropping y'all Cash App's names so Cal can make smart moves. I think she meant to say all. So Cal can make, well, anyway. So yeah, I guess she's giving out some Bitcoin via Cash App, so that's awesome. Way to spread the good word, Megan. But here's an interesting thing. Now, I don't know if you guys follow me on Twitter, but I did retweet over what Guggenheim Partners CIO Scott Menard said, and when he was on the show, he said our fundamentals show that Bitcoin should actually be worth around $400,000 per coin. Now, the sky-high price target is based on 2 things: Bitcoin's scarcity and its relative value to gold as a percentage of cross-domestic product. Now, quote, he says, Bitcoin has a lot of the attributes of gold and at the same time has an unusual value in terms of transactions. Guggenheim made the decision to start allocating to Bitcoin when it was trading at around $10,000. Now, keep in mind, Guggenheim Partners manages more than $230 billion worth of assets, okay? So this is what you're going to see moving forward. You're going to see asset managers, financial advisors advising 1%, 2%, 3%, 5% exposure to Bitcoin. And maybe eventually that'll become 10%. Maybe eventually it'll even become 50% if we continue to grow at the rate that it has. But the big question is, what about the altcoins? Well, we can see that the total altcoin market cap had hit about $474 billion at the peak of the rally at the end of 2018 or the beginning of 2018 for altcoins, whereas right now you can see we're sitting at a $212 billion valuation. This is more than half down. In fact, if we do from top to bottom to where we're sitting right now, this is actually a 55% lower overall target or overall cap for the altcoins than we had seen. So Bitcoin is clearly above, right? Bitcoin's cap, we broke the all-time high. Altcoins still 55% down as a whole. Now, there were a lot of altcoins that were garbage, right? Total trash. We didn't really need them. But do altcoins actually stand to outperform Bitcoin this time around? Well, the thing with altcoins is we find that, and this is just historically speaking, there could be an altcoin that could come out and just blow Bitcoin out the water for the number 1 spot. I highly doubt that, but it's possible, maybe. But the thing is that altcoin cycles, they tend to rally extremely quick. They tend to make 10x, 100x gains, 1000x gains in some cases. But over the next cycle, we usually tend to see Bitcoin rallies even higher. Now, combined, the market cap is still lower. We have a $651 billion market cap for all cryptos. We had over $800 billion at the peak of the original all-time high for Bitcoin. So the first time we got to an all-time high, we actually had a larger alt cap plus Bitcoin market cap for all of them, right? So if we actually have a look over here, if we go back to cryptocurrencies, where is the Bitcoin dominance? Let's see, 65.3%. So, having a look back over here to the, hold on guys, 1 second. I'm trying to get the altcoins in here. They changed this. Oh, it's loading. Why is this loading? All right, well, I wanted to show you something. You know, honestly, no offense, but this is actually why I use CoinGecko now. I figured we'd use... Anyway, go to CoinMarketCap. You can go over to the dominance. I don't know why it's not loading right now. And you can compare, and you can see exactly where Bitcoin dominance falls, altcoin dominance skyrockets. But I do think, like I said, altcoins... I think they'll do well. I think you'll get your 10x's, 20x's, 100x's, but I don't think that the majority of them will, over the next cycle, continue to outperform Bitcoin. So, you know, you can always play the altcoins. I just don't think long-term that they're actually, necessarily amazing holds. Yeah, not loading still. Now, talking about some, some things that are happening in the space that could be good for altcoins is practical use cases. One of the use cases that I think, or maybe not altcoins, but essentially ERC 721, right, tokens and stuff like that. So you do have Israel-born Malta-based progressive house musician Guy J. He sold the income rights to a track dubbed Cotton Eyes on the Rocky platform through the sale of an NFT. The token was auctioned using decentralized auction protocol Bounce Finance and sold for 40 ETH. So these are the types of things that I think, we have decentralized finance, and we also have things like NFTs. Now, NFTs are more than just collectibles and video game items, right? You can use things like tokens to tokenize land ownership, building ownership, things like that. Or, for example, what Utopia is doing, which actually fits in perfectly with this news from the musician, is allowing, like they say, music consumption data points gathered in real time. And you can actually, for example, you can, have royalties distributed. You can even do like fundraising with your fan base and stuff like that, right? So there's a lot of different things that they'll be able to do with this. And I am definitely keeping an eye on these guys for sure. There's just a lot of interesting things that selling music right tokens and, yeah, so guys, definitely keep an eye on Utopia Genesis. I think that they could be one of the big use cases for cryptocurrencies moving forward. Also, speaking about getting out into the public, we have Coinbase looking to launch an IPO. Cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase has confidentially filed a registration statement with the US SEC. Multiple sources have revealed the company's intention to debut on the US stock market. This was a rumor back in July. It looks like the $8 billion company has officially confirmed that rumor today. We also have American Express, the credit card company, looking to invest in the cryptocurrency trading venue Falcon X through its venture arm. This shows the traditional world really finding that interest in Bitcoin. And ending on a lighter note today, the Salvation Army Western Territory is now accepting Bitcoin and Ethereum donations across the United States. So, getting back to this chart right here, could we be looking for a potential touchdown to the bottom? Yes. However, in my opinion, I do think there is that possibility that Bitcoin could be looking for one more move to the upside. Now, it doesn't have to happen. Keep in mind, a lot of people are in profits. It's understandable for people to be taking those profits right now. However, we could be looking for one more crazy pump to the upside. It is possible, but it is the weekend. Things could get a little bit shaky, so it's hard to say. We have to see what happens again on Monday, where the futures close and where the market opens up again. However, currently, you may look at this as a descending channel, as a descending triangle, or as a flag. But either way right now, after a pump like that, guys, don't forget the trend is your friend until the end. It's not the end of the trend yet, so it's hard to be bearish. It's hard to be looking for... Look, there could be a dip incoming, but it's hard to get bearish on something when you're putting in the types of moves that you are, right? So that's it for me today, guys. Obviously, be safe. Don't go using super high leverage. Almost forgot to mention, actually, Femex. Don't forget that over at Femex, they do have a $720 bonus. That bonus is actually, I think it's up pretty soon. So if you guys want to get in on that, check out the links below in the description. I also do have tutorials on Femex as well if you guys are interested. But that is it for me today. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. Congratulations on making it to an all-time high. Enjoy your day, my friends. My name is K-Dub. This is CryptoZombie. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.